our land so long ago. Somebody stole us away, down so low, nowhere to go. Planting cotton and sugar cane. Where's my 40 acres and a mule? 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 First Nations people, my kinfolk say, show them which way to go. Brightest star to guide the way, like wise men long ago. Somebody moan, where's my 40 acres and a mule? 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 My relatives are down in New Orleans, Tennessee, and Detroit. Help build that land in slavery until the Civil War done destroyed it. Where's my 40 acres and a mule? 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 Somebody moan. Well, the good book said, to the end of time, brothers be killing brothers. Those who put their trust in God know His love is greater than 40 acres and a mule. 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 Bad luck and trouble, bad luck and trouble, bad luck and trouble, you've got to go, you've got to go. Well now, somebody down there who did me been working that mojo. Scuba dust spread around my door and I stepped over black cat bone. Tied a doll in a conjured knot, put the hurt in the evil eye. Fixed my stuff with some jealousy, now I know somebody been checking me.
Good morning, everyone. You're listening to Turtle Island News with Tracy Kennedy. We are live right now, being simulcast on flagshipradio.com, TCT Radio, Scottish Sovereigns on the Land, No Borders Radio, Organic Sulfur for Health, and we are joined today by Wolf Spirit Radio. Hi, how are you guys doing? I'm going to forego the news a little bit to tell you a story. We're going to talk about Zimmerman because I've been asked to do it, but something seemed so wrong about him. I needed to find more information. So we're going into something a little older. I'm going to read you something that Himmler spoke to his SS, Racial Mass Murder Task Force. You Einsatzgruppen are called upon to fulfill a repulsive duty. You are soldiers who have to carry out every order unconditionally. You have a responsibility before God and Hitler for everything that is happening. I hate myself, this bloody business, and I have been moved to the depths of my soul. But I am obeying to the highest law by my duty. Man must defend himself against the bedbugs and rats, against the vermin. This is a speech Heinrich Himmler said to the SS guards. It may be really hard to accept, but it's official U.S. policy that Reichsfuhrer Heinrich Himmler is a true initiate. It is also true that the U.S. military intelligence resurrected his soul in a ritual called the Wewelsburg workings, or the Wewelsburg rituals, at the gate of death, at the Mittelpunkt der Welt, so middle of the world. Now, I will tell you, if you go to turtleislandnews.info, I have put all the links to everything I'm going to say on the bottom of the page. I do have numbers that say which one I'm talking about, but unfortunately I didn't have a chance to repair those numbers, so they don't work. So you will be shocked to find that all of these things are documented. Now, this resurrection rituals, and there were several, were conducted by U.S. Special Forces officer Army Lieutenant Michael A. Quino. You know that guy. Psychological Warfare Division, PSYOPs, or PsyCops, believe it or not. You are traveling to another dimension, the fifth dimension. It is beyond that, known to ordinary men and women. It is a dimension as vast as space and as timeless as infamy. It is the middle ground between the light and the shadow, between science and superstition, and it lies between the pit of man's fears and the summit of his knowledge. This is a dimension whose doors you unlock with the key of imagination. That's the signpost up ahead, your next stop. Now I will go over a little bit today of the slaying of Trayvon Martin, not into depths of this ritual, other than to say it happened, although I do have many links to the exact thing. I am going to call Zimmerman the Hunter, and it's a blueprint for a one-man Illuminati Eisengruppen. A video on Sunday, approximately 6:24 p.m. A store video shows Trayvon Martin purchasing a bag of Skittles and a fruit water drink cocktail thing. Approximately 7:13, the hunter spots his prey coming to the store. The hunter calls the police from his truck. Total time of the call is 4 minutes, 7 seconds. Zimmerman stalks his prey and tells the 911 officer he looks odd. He's got his hands in his waist. He's a black male. Something's wrong with him. I don't know what the deal is. Now, we have also heard previously that he was on the phone with his friend. Not the hunter, but the 17-year-old. The hunter was armed with a Teltec PF 9mm, primed to use. Now let's go back in time. In 2009, a neighborhood pit bull named Big Boy apparently began menacing George and his wife, Shelley Zimmerman. He was advised to get a permit to carry a concealed weapon to protect his family from Big Boy. Zimmerman received a gun safety certificate from a local Masonic lodge, but no one can tell me the name of the lodge. Once he obtained the concealed weapons permit, a federal air marshal, so U.S. Homeland Security agent, and former Seminole County Sheriff and strange character himself, Mark Osterman, taught George how to patrol and target humans, not dogs. He gave George law enforcement weapons training. He taught the U.S. government philosophy of killing. He taught George how to disable the gun's safety lock permanently. For what? Well, to kill humans more coldly, efficiently, quickly. 2010, George Zimmerman began training in mixed martial arts, no-holds-bars fighting, with another unusual and violent individual, Adam Pollock, at the Cocopelli Gym near Sanford. Undoubtedly someone or some agency was really interested in providing this George Zimmerman with urban terrorist training under the veil, instead of fighting off Big Boy the dog. Seems to me that some entity intended to create George Zimmerman, and again as a blueprint for a one-man Eisengruppen executioner. So, we've heard the stories before Zimmerman began following him. We heard the screams. Within the first 48 hours, in the slaughter of Trevor Martin, the hunter and urban terrorist executioner was questioned by SPD. Then they sent him home to his family no later than 1 a.m. that evening. Now that's February 26th. It appears that Trevor's cell phone, found at the scene of the slaying, was bagged up with the Skittles and Arizona juice. The evidence then was marked on a shelf under the name John Doe. His body was delivered and tagged as John Doe. Now it's extremely odd, this next part, that a Brandy Green had a 14-year-old son at home with Trayvon at the time of the murder, while Tracy and Brandy attended I don't know what. He told state's attorney investigators that he had waited for his mom and Tracy Martin to return home that evening, and told them both that Trevin had not returned from the 7-Eleven store. He said Trevin went there to get snacks. There were no snacks, actually. Later, we were told, recovered from the scene. He had said that Tracy and his mom went to bed. He went to school the next day. Trevin, missing the night before, hadn't seemed to be a big deal to Tracy or his mom. Now, approximately 9:20, Tracy called 911, described Trevin to them, after which they sent officers to Brandy Green's condo. The SPD showed Tracy a picture of Trevin with blood dripping out of his mouth. The SPD informed Tracy Martin that his son was dead. Now we move to February 28th. Approximately 12:30 p.m., SPD finally faxed the medical officer's memo that John Doe had been identified as Trevor Martin. Within the first 48 hours, the